Hello and welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your hosts, Daniel.
And Daniel.
We are back to back right now. We are doing a second episode.
Side to side.
Well, that too. Back to back, side to side, preposition and preposition.
Yeah, the main reason is we kind of like to leave a bubble because, in fact, we're, early July, and we're done with July now. This is the last episode for July.
Yep.
But we also know there's going to be a couple weeks that we're going to be missing. I'm going to be out of town for the first week of August. That's why we're recording that next week.
And I have my gauntlet of birthdays.
You have your gauntlet of birthdays.
Yep.
I don't even think you're going to make it to our game night that week because I think it's all within that range.
If that is one of the birthdays, then it's a not.
What, is somebody on the 30th?
No.
Okay, then you're good.
Woo!
But yeah, you have the gauntlet of birthdays. That's going to give us a bubble. That's basically going to be 2 weeks off. So we want to just get enough going. Plus, I got another trip in September, so we want to get backlogged. You have your time off from school around September as well. Your fall break. So you might be doing something with the family. So it's kind of like we want to keep our bubble.
Yep, exactly. So there's times where we do these back-to-back episodes, and we're doing one today, and today is going to be a board game brainstorm for the game Risk.
Well, it is July, and we here in America celebrate Independence Day or July 4th, as for some reason we call it as a holiday. That's always been weird to me. So why do we call it July 4th? That's just the date. It's Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence Day. Yeah, 4th of July is like what it's known for.
Yeah, it was like, okay, that's weird. Which is even funnier about that is that only 2 people or 3 people signed the Declaration of Independence today.
Yeah. Right.
It was like August 8th, I think, is something like that, where it was fully ratified and signed by everybody.
Yep.
It's like, okay, well, I guess because today was the day it got started?
Yeah, sure. The first draft was pretty good. They liked it.
Yeah.
They liked it.
But all in all,
to sign it.
This was actually a really easy one for me because I just did the simplest dudes on a map game, honestly, because that's what Risk is all about. But they all do something unique in a sense.
Yeah, this was less easy for me. I'll just leave it at that. It was less easy for me.
I already guessed one of your games. So.
Yeah, you did. I mean, it's pretty obvious because this is not
your theme.
Area control is not a mechanism I tend to play with
or play well at.
No. It's very very few games I tend to really enjoy it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this was a simple one, and honestly, this is going to be a simple episode. I'm hoping we can get this under an hour like last time, because we tend to go long in our other podcasts, so a short, sweet episode for some people, it's good.
Yeah, especially when we rant about stuff that has nothing to do with gaming. Speaking of, Daniel, what have you been doing outside of gaming?
Before we do that, we got some house cleaning.
No!
We have house cleaning to do first and foremost.
My apologies.
We had a giveaway last month. A name was drawn. We kind of hinted at it at the end of the episode yesterday. We did get in contact. It has been shipped out. Congratulations, Timothy Curtis. This is why it's important to listen to the podcast and get into the email. So for the second giveaway in a row, email actually have a contest winner. So
specifically the email I got it. So Timothy Curtis, congratulations. Hope you enjoy your copy of Canvas from yours truly.
Yeah, and yours truly.
Yeah, from us.
Okay, yeah. Don't take credit.
How else would you pluralize yours? Yours is truly's? Like, what am I saying? Like, from the friends of the podcast. Thank you for listening.
And so, just to let everybody know, we had 375 entries. We had several of them, at least 20 of them from the email.
Yep.
So, those are important ones,
Yeah, those are important. And there's so many ways to get entries. Like, that could have been technically 30-something people, right?
It was quite a bit. So, it was nice. So, if you listen to us, get us the email. And again, back-to-back giveaways went through the email. We've had two winners through our Twitch subscribers. We've had three from our Twitch subscribers.
One from the Instagram, I believe.
One from the Instagram, and then the emails as well. And just so you guys know, there's going to be another giveaway because Timothy selected Canvas with the deluxe editions. So we still have Horrified World of Monsters that will be a giveaway in the future.
Cool.
With that being said, now we can go to outside gaming.
Yeah, so what have you been doing outside of gaming?
All right. So
Spending time at the post office.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't too bad because I just go to the one that's right here, so it's never busy. Because I have our PO boxes there too.
Sure.
So outside of gaming for me, I'm going to talk about it. I've been hinting at it for like 2 months. My Chicago trip. I just recently, for us personally, got back from Chicago. There's a couple things. I know this is outside gaming, but I want to give shout outs to 2 gaming stores that I went to while we were there. Good Games Publisher has a game store in Chicago. We were there. I was able to pick up Pergola from there and have just recently played it. So look for that next episode. And also, Bonus Round Cafe. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to enjoy Bonus Round Cafe because the only day I could have gotten in there, they were shut down because they were getting prepared for a comedy show. I looked to see if I was going to buy any games, but most of the games that they had for sale there are either owned or used to own, and so I couldn't support them on a game buy. I was going to order a coffee there, but they were shut down, which is fine. I get it. They had...
We'll forgive them this once.
Yeah. But me and the wife are planning to go back to Chicago somewhere down the line, so I'll try to support them again next time I'm down there. But first and foremost, Chicago is a city I've always wanted to visit. I am a Chicago Cubs fan.
This is your first time ever being in Chicago?
It was the first time ever being... minus the airports. I've been in Chicago because of the airports, but I never actually explored the city.
Right.
By the way, I hate O'Hare. That's a horrible airport. I'd like Midway, though. It's a nice small airport. You don't have to deal with a lot of things. O'Hare, the couple times I've been there, I literally had to go across the airport to get to my next gate, and it was just... It felt like
just
it was...
to be canceled to go back. Right?
No, that's Fort Worth. Dallas-Fort Worth is the worst.
Yeah, that's so... I did that 6 times and for one flight.
I did it 4 times for one flight when I was going to go visit my wife in Cleveland.
Yep.
I literally got off. My gate was supposed to be next to and he's over here knocking stuff up.
Yep.
My gate was supposed to be next to it. And then they're like, oh, no, we have to make you go to A gate. So I got to get on the tram, go to A gate. And then they're like, oh, no, we moved it to B gate. All right, fine. Get back on the tram, go to B gate. And then go into B gate. I'm like, all right, I got some time. Hasn't changed yet. I'm going to go get lunch. And then they moved it back to C gate. And I'm like, I'm eating lunch right now. I'm going to go here in a minute. Let me finish lunch. And then go back to C gate. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then I was like, you better not change it back to A gate. I've been on this tram way too many times for a flight that should not be that. But yeah. O'Hare is just as bad.
Wow, okay.
I haven't done the bounce around, but like I got off at like, let's just say like E gate and had to go all the way to A gate. And it's long to get there. Luckily, that was the first time I ever, and I was younger at the time too, it was the first time I ever knew airports had those walking sidewalks, or the moving sidewalks.
Yeah. Because
it's that massive that they have to give you a little oomph to it. But we went into Midway. We took a lift to our hotel. I showed you a picture of the hotel. Yep. It's really cool. Hotel Versi is really neat. It's quintessential what you would expect a hotel to be. It was literally an old apartment complex that they turned into a hotel because it had one of the oldest rickety elevators I've ever been on. You could fit like 4 people in it. It was that small.
That's that kind of elevator.
And then you're hearing it going up and you're just like...
Was that as bad as like when we took the elevator-esque thing to the top of the arch?
Not like that bad. Like... It wasn't moving like that, but it just, you could feel the ricketiness of it and how old it was. And it was full of stickers in the entire elevator that you would expect from a major city.
Yeah.
Really neat place. The rooms were fine. They're a little smaller. We were right off the road. They gave us a free upgrade. Cool. Gave us a bigger room. However, it put us on the street where our room was to be inside, so we weren't going to have a window. It was my wife equated it to like having a cabin room in a cruise ship or something like that. It was going to be that small, which we were fine. We were only going to use it for sleep.
Yep.
But they upgraded us to the window, which was right off Clark Street. So if you're from the Chicago area and know Clark Street, that's a busy road. The sirens kept going off all night. What you expect in a big city. Oh, you probably
stayed up all night then.
Oh, it drove me insane. I had to take my melatonin with me just where I could get enough sleep. I got probably 4 to 6 hours sleep because of the sirens. But other than that was fun. On Tuesday, I forgot to mention this. On Monday when we got there, we were trying to find places to eat, and we had a choice of 2 places. My wife's like, I can get Thai food anywhere. We went to a Japanese barbecue place. It was called, I'll have to look it up, but it was a fantastic little place where it's You're the one grilling it on there. I sent you a picture of that as well while I'm doing it. And you were like, oh, is it better than Korean barbecue? I'm like, the marinades are better than Korean barbecue. I found that place to be fantastic with their marinades. And they had this bulgogi.
Bulgogi. Yeah.
No.
It's like a beef.
Yeah, it's like a beef bulgogi. Oh my god, that was so good. I was like, I got the carbs to spare. I'm eating all this rice and all this beef. It was delicious. Now, me and my wife really enjoyed it. We got all, like the meat platter and stuff like that. So we got like chicken. She tried Japanese fried chicken, which was really good. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see the Chicago trip. I have it on here somewhere, just because I want to talk about. I want to get the name of that location, and I can't think of it right now. It's one of these. But yeah, no, it was a really good barbecue place. Japanese barbecue was really good. The food style, there was like, we had ribeye. We had ribeye. There was like this shredded beef thing that cooked up really well. And dessert was a s'more. Because it was an open flame kind of thing. So yeah, it was fantastic. I come to the realization I don't eat a lot of sugar anymore. Like I'll get like Skittles from time to time or peanut butter M&Ms from time to time. But when I had the s'more, it was like pure sugar to me. It's like I tasted a little bit of the chocolate, and then the marshmallow and the graham cracker was nothing but sugar. And I was like, I'm not enjoying this. Not as much as I thought I would. But no. But the meat itself was fantastic. The sides were great. I found this thing that I got to start doing where you use chili crisp with cucumbers and just mix it all together. And it is delicious. Asian chili crisp is one of the best things out there. And to mix it with cucumbers, which is something I love. Oh, yeah, I found myself a new snack. That thing was fantastic. Tuesday, we decided to go to the zoo during the day. By the way, the weather there was weird. Monday was fine. Tuesday, we went to the zoo. It was hot and humid like you wouldn't believe. We were like, okay, we're going to do the zoo during the day. However, it's Lincoln Park Zoo. It's a free zoo, so if you ever want a chance to go there, it is one of the most unique-looking zoos out there because their animal buildings look like classic buildings. They're the sandstone architecture, really, really neat. However, go after 10. That's when all the buildings open, and most of the animals are out by then. We went at 8 o'clock. We were walking around the zoo, and there was really nothing to see at the moment. And then once 10 walked around, we went into the zoo. Fantastic. The zoo is a nice experience. Again, it's free, so anything you spend there just goes straight back to the zoo for like souvenirs and stuff like that. So it was a cool place. I liked everything about it. But it was also really, really hot, so we were glad to leave about noon, and we went over to the Shed Aquarium. So let everybody know, Shed Aquarium is quite expensive. It is $50 per person. You have to rent a time to log in or get in. But, oh my God, it is an amazing aquarium.
Worth it?
Oh, yeah, well worth it. It was the one place my wife wanted to go to while we were in Chicago. Yeah. And so I made sure we were able to go to it. We went to Tuesday because we were worried and heard weather report that we were going to get rain on Wednesday. So we bought tickets to the Thursday game as well, just in case of a rain out, because we were going for, me personally, to go see the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. Something I've never done. It's one of my bucket list things. But that was a fantastic aquarium, going to that Shed Aquarium. So we got the tickets. We went in there. They had a little food court right outside, so we had to wait for our time when we needed lunch. So I went and got a protein smoothie. Oh, man, that was really good. It was, like, freshly made with the fruit. They made it in front of you, put some protein powder in it. Fantastic lunch for me. We went into the aquarium, and my wife was in love. There was, like, the first spot you go into, it has like the river lake bed type thing, and then you have your sea aquarium right next to each other, columns, and then in there's a little clownfish that was protecting its nest. There was little eggs in there. It was kind of cute.
That's great.
Yeah, and then you have like the sea exhibit with sharks and stuff like that, where you're walking around a little further in. But the first exhibit is like the freshwater and then the jungle experience. I got to pet a sturgeon.
Oh, that's cool.
I've never pet a sturgeon. They look like sharks. I thought their skin was going to be like sharks. It was the smoothest skin I've ever felt. It was weird. Because I was like, that sandpaper refill, if you ever felt like a stingray or a shark or something like that, how they have that sandpaper refill. Yep. No, it was smooth as silk. Huh. It was really neat, though. I got to pet a sturgeon. I've never done that before. That was neat. So that was a cool experience. Seeing like this massive wall with sharks and stuff like that over there, it was really neat. The jellyfish, go check out the Shed Aquarium. It's fantastic, well worth the money. It's rated like one of the top 3 aquariums in the United States, so it was really neat. And it's right off the beach, so you're right there near the pier, about Little ways down is the Navy Pier. We didn't go there this time around. We had a lot of stuff that we needed to do. Most of the time, we stuck to Wrigleyville. Wednesday, we went to the ball, or tried to go to the ball game. It got canceled, unfortunately, because of the rain out. Weren't able to go, so I did some retail shopping, and spent a lot of money at Wrigleyville, which was kind of nice. Bought myself a new jersey as well as some new hats. That was fantastic. Again, we walked everywhere. We only used Lyft to go to the Shed Aquarium and back, and to the airport and back. Other than that, it was just walking. Everything in Wrigleyville was new. The food was fantastic. Every place we hit did really well. We went to a southern joint. We went to the Japanese barbecue, as I mentioned earlier. We went to a couple breakfast places up in Wrigleyville that had really good food. The ballpark food was fantastic because we did go to a game on Thursday, which was the main thing. And you know what? I enjoyed every minute of that, even though the Cubs lost. It was a fantastic game.
What's new? No, I'm just kidding.
They're first place there, bud. They're first place and have won a World Series within the last 10 years, so I wouldn't start here.
Long time coming.
Yeah, long time coming. But it was really cool. I've always wanted to go to Wrigley Field. That's one of the places I've always wanted to see. That stadium has been in place since 1914. It's the second oldest stadium in Major League Baseball. And it is just beautiful. Me and my wife have been to a couple stadiums. She says this is her favorite stadium per se. It's her second favorite outfield. She loves the ivy on the brick wall. She thinks that is one of the most beautiful things she ever saw. And that's specifically why I picked June, because the ivy would be in full bloom out there for her to see. The only one that she thinks has the best batter's eye is, so if you're a baseball fan, batter's eye is a greenery or something in the background for the batter to see. It's Colorado, and I don't disagree with her because they have like this whole little forest section there, which is fantastic. But all in all, going to the game was fantastic. Experiencing Wrigley Field for the first time. I even had a beer, which I don't drink anymore, but it's a whole thing. When you go to Wrigley Field, you have to have an old style beer. By the way, that beer sucks, but you had to do it. It was the most disgusting beer I've ever had, and I used to drink Bud Light, all right? But that Bud Light, not a sponsor. Not a sponsor. But that was the poor man's beer that I used to drink back in the day when I was a drinking college student. So, yeah, no, it was a fantastic experience. We had a blast doing that. I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, the lake is amazing to look at. We went down Lakeshore Drive the whole time. Every time we try to go somewhere, that's like the main road. It's always right next to the lake. It looks like an ocean, man. Oh yeah. Oh, it is so massive. This is the second Great Lake I've seen. I've seen 2 Great Lakes now, and they're amazing.
Which one? Which 2?
I've seen this was Lake Michigan, and I've also seen Lake Erie.
Erie. Cool.
Yeah, so I've seen M&E of homes. Yeah. But all in all, my Chicago trip, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay. My story is way less. So, as we talked in the previous episode, we just recently had the 4th of July celebration, also known as Independence Day for those who actually have the correct title. 4th of July just happened recently for us. We're barely on the 7th. This is my second favorite holiday of the year. Well,
this is my least favorite
third favorite holiday. I know why it's your least favorite. That makes sense. But this is my probably third favorite holiday. It goes Christmas, Halloween, 4th of July. And the reason being is because I'm a big fireworks fan. Like I've always been a fan of fireworks ever since I was growing up. I know. You can do your ramble here in a bit, or anybody who's listened to the podcast for any length of time knows the ramble of why you don't like fireworks. We get it, or 4th of July in general. But I enjoy it a lot. And so, a mutual friend of ours. Don't get me wrong. A mutual friend of ours, Jim. Mm-hmm. He's one of my best friends of all time.
And you've seen him on the podcast.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast before. One of our earlier episodes. He likes fireworks just as much as I do. So if we're not going out to see the fireworks display, the city one, him and I are dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars to make our own. We go big.
You're the problem.
Yeah, part of it. And, no, we love doing fireworks. Hey, hold on. We only fire it during 4th of July, and we're done by 10. I guarantee that. We never have gone over. We've never fired fireworks outside of that. Oh, God. Not growing up.
I'll get on my rant here in a minute.
Yeah. You can go on your rant here in a minute. But anyway, so this year, last year we weren't able to, because a mutual friend of ours needed a house sitter, and that's where my son went. Yeah. And took care of their dogs. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't want to celebrate it without my son. That was a big thing with us. And so our friend Jim, he was kind of bummed, but he was like, it's understandable. But he was like, if we could do something this year, I'd really like
I'd
to do
appreciate
something.
it. Yeah.
I'd really like to do something this year.
Oh,
and
that
we
also
thought,
probably was a little hard for him too.
Yeah, exactly. And so we were like, well, let's figure out something that we can do, right? We don't have time to buy fireworks, and we probably don't
Thank
have
God.
quite the money, right? And we don't want to deal with the same, like, let's go to the city.
I honestly don't get that. I'll get onto that, but
Hey,
I've seen
calm myself. I still have my story. Calm myself. All right, so.
$2,000. I saw someone pay $2,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a mortgage payment. What?
Yeah. Well, around here it's like 4 mortgage payments.
No, some mortgages are $2,000 now. Or some of the newer neighborhoods.
Sure, like the really upscale neighborhoods
No,
here in town.
the ones that are just recently built right above us, their mortgage payments are $2,000 a month.
Right, they're much nicer.
They're new. They're not nicer.
Okay, fine. They're newer. The newer ones.
Yeah.
Sure. The fancy pants ones here in town that aren't already sold. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Regardless, has nothing to do with my story. Anyway, no, you're right. That's a lot of money, right? And
Yeah.
we were like, we want to still do something for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
My wife had it off. He had it off. My mom had it off. So we're like, hey, let's all go do something. And I've been itching to actually go to a baseball game. So speaking of baseball, I was like, you know what? My wife saw on her Facebook. She was like, oh, Albuquerque Isotopes. They're having a special thing for the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
The El Paso Chihuahuas went up there and played against them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having, in their picnic area, all you can eat hot dogs and burgers and brownies
That
and
picnic
toppings.
area is actually really nice.
It was lovely. I very much enjoyed it. It wasn't super hot out. It was a little warm right during the day, but that was cool. So
but they have a lot of shade there too, right?
They did, yeah. It was a big canopy. The only
Yeah.
thing is fireworks.
Can't see anything.
Right? So we had to all step out and look out over to the side. But anyway, no, it was a great field. But before we went to that, we went to a place that, like, we were talking about what we wanted to do beforehand.
Yeah.
And we went to one location. We got there about an hour before the gates even opened. So we're like, well, we have time to, like, hang out. And my wife is really into, like, exotic grocery stores. And what I mean by that is, like...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like they have, like, international or exotic, like, foods and snacks from, like, all parts of the world.
Like Japan,
and stuff.
Brazil, that kind of thing.
That, like, viral foods are a very common thing in a lot of those, where all the Americans on Instagram are like, oh my god, have you seen this, like
Canadian
food?
ketchup chips.
Yeah, ketchup chips, oh my god, let's try it. And then they're like, it's such a culture I'm not, like, huge on. But there was an ice cream that we tried that I had tried before. Me and my wife had tried it about 2 or 3 weeks ago in El Paso. They had them there too. And there's 3 different kinds. The one that looks like literally a peach. And it's like a little ice cream cone, but it looks like they put a peach on a popsicle stick. On a little tiny one. But it's like...
It's a family-friendly show, so I'll keep my thoughts to myself.
And, it looks exactly like that, right? And then there's another one that's a lemon. And I think there's another peach one, but it looks more like a flower. But it's also peach. It has, like, peach jellies inside of it. Anyway, so I don't like peach myself, but I like lemon ice cream.
Oh, the lemon sounds good. I cannot stand peach.
I know. I don't like peach either. But the lemon ones. Here's the thing, right? It's like a lemon creamsicle. And it, like, the outsiding is almost like a thicker, like, almost like a... fondant or whatever,
Almost like a candy coating.
Yeah, kind of. It's not crunchy or anything, but it's kind of like the outside of a creamsicle, and the inside is a good solid like lemon ice cream. And this was the second time I had it. The first time it was $8 a piece. There is a place here in town that sells them for $14 a piece. Insane amount of money. So we got there. Yeah, we got to this exotic food place. My mom got some, like, grape jellies, like, candies, and she really liked those.
Yeah, no, but
I'm making you cringe, I know. I bought 2 different chips. I bought Lay's spicy chicken, and that was pretty good, and Lay's mac and cheese. Now, yeah, you think it's like Lay's mac and cheese. You think it's like, okay, it's just cheese chips, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's duh.
How do you get the pasta flavor in there?
No, here's the thing. Like, I can't describe it, but what I will tell you is that it is the exact flavor of the fakest mac and cheese flavor you can imagine.
So Kraft, but great value bread.
Yeah, great value. Just the cheese powder was on. And so, because at first I was like, okay, this is going to be another, like, Lay's cheese chip, right? I like the cheese chips quite often. Okay. So I tried it, and that is unmistakably mac and cheese. Like, that could be so close.
The fakest, cheesiest
It
powder.
was the weird nuclear orange, like, the strangest cheese flavor. And it's so spot on. Like, I told my daughter about it today. I was like, yeah, it's mac and cheese chips. She's like, what makes it mac and cheese and not just cheese? I'm like, she was like, does it taste like pasta? I'm like, no, it doesn't. But you taste it and you know what I'm talking about. And she was like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. And I gave her a chip and she was like, I know what you're talking about. What? Huh? This is unmistakably mac and cheese. Anyway, the spicy chicken is all pretty good too.
I just don't know how they get the chicken part of it. Like, I can get the spicy, but
It's like the chicken bouillon, right? You know,
okay,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It does have a hint of chicken, right? I mean,
Okay.
the same as like the chicken crackers. Like, there's no real chicken in those, right? You know,
I don't eat the chicken crackers. So.
I don't either. But I'm just saying, like, that's probably how they do it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
there's companies that for people who don't eat potato chips,
Yeah.
they sell the chicken skin as chips.
Oh, sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Those are disgusting.
Oh,
dude.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Oh
that
my
sounds
god,
awful.
they're so bad.
But either way, yeah. So we got all these different ice creams, and we got the ice creams because my friend Jim wanted to try it, and he was like, "All right, I'll try it." It was $10 each there. I was like, dude, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is not worth $10. But if you try it, you're gonna enjoy yourself. You're like, I'm glad I tried it once. I'll never buy it again.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, but
Try it once, then that's the
it
only
was
10.
worth it for the $10 once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've spent 18 on 2 so far. It's too much money. But,
Between the peach flavoring and your mom's grape jelly candies, I can't do grape flavor.
Sure.
I've told this story before. But my parents used to drug me when I had allergies with
Sure.
Dimetap. So
Oh, yeah.
it just...
I wonder if, like, since it's a grape flavor from Japan, I wonder if it would be probably better. Because it doesn't taste like
The fake grape.
the grape that we have in the United States is it's a purple flavor. It's not a grape
Yeah, it's
flavor. It's a
purple.
purple flavor.
No, I don't
It's
disagree.
unmistakably a purple flavor.
I don't like grapes to begin with as a fruit
Oh, sure.
either.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't like grapes, this ain't gonna sell
I
you
can
out.
handle grapes. I like them frozen. That's the best way to
Oh,
eat
sure.
them. It's like little popsicles.
Yeah, there was one I tried recently where it was like mochi covered like frozen grapes. It was like and they were like sour. It was like almost like a Sour Patch.
Yeah,
Kid, I think.
you maltodextrin. You put maltodextrin on them.
Yeah.
And you freeze them, and it gives you like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah,
feel.
I didn't like the texture of the grape when frozen. That was just me. But anyway, so after we went to the exotic food place, we went to the baseball game.
Okay.
All you can eat burgers, hot dogs.
I have a question about the baseball game. What's
Sodas,
your-
all that stuff, right? Lovely time. My son, he purposefully didn't eat anything at the snack place. He also went very light on his lunch because he was like, I have all you can eat hot dogs. That's a thing. I was like, I'm preparing for this.
Typical teenager.
He ate 11 hot dogs.
We need to get him into face Joey Chestnut.
Dude, I knew he could eat a lot. I've never seen him eat 11 hot dogs back to back. And he did have a brownie too. And it was all you can eat sodas and waters. And
He's
all
a
that stuff.
teenager. How are you not surprised about this?
I didn't envision
And a hungry
that.
teenager at that.
And
'cause
he was a hungry teenager. He wasn't angry, but he showed those hot dogs to her boss. They regretted that. And then there was a fireworks display afterwards. It was a good time, but my favorite part about it is my kids, they don't care about baseball, right?
Oh, no. Yeah.
And so I was like, kids, I'm going to teach you guys a way to make it fun. I was like, it's real simple how to make
Watch the
make
game.
a game. Well, not just that, but like there's one way to do it. I was like, you just need to arbitrarily root for one of the teams. I was like, I need one of you pick a team. And my daughter picked the Chihuahuas. She was like, because she said she is like a Chihuahua. She's a little ankle biter, so she'll go for the Chihuahuas. My son was like, I like science. Let's go for the isotopes. So I was like, good reason. Now make a bet on it. Like not, it doesn't have to be finance. We'll just like make some kind of bet. Like you'll do this if your team wins, or you know whatever. And so they started discussing like, okay, cool. You know, they're having fun with it. And my son was like, all right, we made our bet. If I win, my sister will play video games with me. If I lose, I will give her $40. And we're like, holy crap, that's a bet. What? We're like, dude, go like $5, $10.
Who ended up winning?
She did.
Thought so.
He gave her $40 because he stood by. It's like
Also,
that
he doesn't
is
care about
insane.
money. That's
no,
what's
he
funny.
really doesn't. He really doesn't like money.
But here's the thing about that is like, I know baseball. I know what the odds were because I know. Do you know who the parent teams are?
Padres and Rockies.
Yes.
You know how I know that?
Because you were at the game.
Because they told us that.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Yeah.
The Rockies have one of the worst farm system, which the Isotopes are in,
Yep.
and are the worst team in baseball right now. They are projected to break a record for the most losses in a season that was set last year.
Yeah.
They watched the Chicago White Sox put the worst record in baseball last year and said, wait, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Or in this case, the big joke is, wait, hold my Coors, because that's the main one up there.
I will give them props, though, because they were the only ones who scored with home runs.
Okay, my next... My next question for you. Where did the Albuquerque Isotopes get their name?
Simpsons.
Yep. Did you sit with Homer?
No. They did have Homer and Marge there, though.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it was already too crowded.
No, there's a bench that has a statue of Homer.
Right, no, I know. We walked by it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was there. It was
I
too
love
busy.
That park.
I wasn't going to take a picture.
It's not the best park. I like Chihuahuas.
What I really liked, I liked the Chihuahuas one better, but I liked how there was like carnival rides in the back. Like, that's cool.
Those are really neat. Yeah,
I was like, that's really clever. So me and my wife at one point were like, we needed to stretch off the food that we ate, right?
Yeah.
So we just did the whole lap around the park.
I always do that.
It was just so beautiful.
When we got to Wrigley Field on our Chicago trip, the first thing we did was walk around the whole park. But they would allow us. You can't go into the bleachers unless you have bleacher tickets. But we walked around the whole park.
Yeah.
Noticed where all the food was. Went into the store, bought another hat while I was there.
Yep, of course.
But it's really neat just to walk around the stadium. Me and my wife always love doing that when we go to a ball game.
Yeah, it was a lovely time. I had a lot of fun.
I love baseball games. I was a little jealous of you. I'm like, I get it. I wanted to go, but I'm gonna sit here and watch our dogs because the reason why I hate the 4th of July is because the fireworks.
Yep, stresses your dogs out.
It stresses my dogs. People shoot off before 4th of July, after 4th of July, to the fact that I have to drug my dogs. This way they can actually sleep through the night. Mm-hmm. Not only to mention that, I have a buddy who's been to war that I have to call and check on him too. And like, are you doing okay? Are you safe? Are you fine? That kind of thing. Because he suffers from sometimes the loud noises stresses him out.
Yeah.
So I have to check on him. So I have issues with holidays. Like I don't like New Year's and I don't like 4th of July because of the fireworks. I think fireworks are gorgeous. I think they're fantastic. I don't like the fact that the public can buy them. It annoys the crap out of me. Go somewhere to watch them like you did. And also, why are you making a mortgage payment on fireworks?
All right, let's get into today's episode. Today we are talking about Board Game Brainstorm with Risk. Speaking of buying fireworks.
Speaking of fireworks.
That's a risk in itself. No. Risk, classic game.
Speaking of fireworks. Also, I used to work in the medical field. You know how many fingers I saw blown off?
We're past this. Let's go. Let's get into today's episode. Oh my goodness. No, so Risk, the classic game. This is back shortly after World War II ended. Mm-hmm. The game was created, I want to say, like 15, 20 years later. It was like in the 50s,
60s, yeah.
Yeah, and so this is one of the interesting...
The game of global domination.
The game of global domination. What was fascinating about Risk specifically is that became kind of like the poster child of like that and diplomacy were the two like, oh, you're just taking over the world, right?
Not just that, you want to end friendships.
Yeah, you want to end friendships. Whereas but right after the war, conflict like that wasn't exactly popular in Europe. So that's why they invented more or less the modern Euro game, which is more point-driven and strategy.
Yeah, they wanted to get away from the conflict games.
Yeah, exactly. So it's unique to the United States, but a lot of people in the U.S. grew up playing Risk. They know about it. And it's actually, honestly, kind of a solid game still. It was a legitimate
other than really game. Just the dice rolling and stuff like that.
Sure, but even then, there was ways to edge the bets against it, right? Yeah, it wasn't guaranteed, you're right, but
unless you played with my dad, then he just stranglehold you. For me, Risk was the classic game I grew up with. I played Monopoly, I played Scrabble, and all this. Risk was the one I really enjoyed because it's the one game that I had a lot of good memories with my dad. That was one of his favorite games to play. That wasn't backgammon and stuff like that, or classic card games. It was Risk, and so growing up as a kid, Risk was the game I could play because I couldn't play Rummy and stuff like that until I was a teenager. So Risk was very important for me, and it was Dammit Dom who was telling us, you guys should do another classic game.
Yep.
And then we were like, okay, we can do that. And he says, oh, you should do Risk. And we're like, okay, we'll do that 4th of July.
4th of July weekend, that's right. And so we're going to break down Risk. Now, with that being said, listeners of the podcast know that I am not the biggest fan of area control. It's fine. I don't actively dislike it. I'm just terrible at it, and I've just never... It's for something that's supposed to be so action-packed, it's so drawn out in a lot of games. So I don't have many of it, and this was a really difficult list for me.
This was an easy list for me. All mine are area control to some sort of extent, with different mechanisms, stuff like that. Some are interesting aspects about them. That's why I went with them. Their uniqueness. They are enhanced with Risk. Risk is that area control game that we're talking about, where you're literally fighting other people's armies to take complete control. Now, Risk is a long game.
Yes.
It can go a while. A friend of mine was talking about, like, her parents back in the day used to play Risk, and they would play it over a weekend because it would take so long. They would play, they would set it up on the table, they would play one day, like a Saturday, and then come back on Sunday to finish the game off because how long it could take. Because it's basically last man standing aspect. Mm-hmm. So it is quintessential area control, dudes on a map. You have to control the world, and you have combat where it's card driven plus dice driven, if I remember correctly. But it's been a while since I played Risk.
Rightfully so. Last time we played it was Risk Legacy.
Yeah. Which was about a year ago.
That's not the most recent time that I've played it, actually. I played Risk Strike before then.
Yeah, well, we're talking about, like, the quintessential Risk.
Yeah, the base Risk, yeah. It's been a while. So, I want to, first off, before we get into it today, I just want to clarify. Again, as I said, I don't play or own many of these games. So
he can't be beholden to his list, is what he's trying to weasel out of here.
We often have times like the Hear Me Out game. Like, how many Hear Me Outs you got?
Nada.
Okay. So mine, they're all. So I'm going to say that right now. Hear me out. Don't judge me too harshly when I explain these. I'll explain my reasons.
Judge him hard. Let him know why he's wrong in the comment down below.
I don't think I'll get too much pushback from these, but I'm just hear me out. This is why I picked.
How many are you still in print?
2.
All of mine are still in print.
I think. I'm pretty sure that one is not. I'm pretty sure this one
is. One of them is harder to get right
now
because it was more of a Game Found style game or Kickstarter crowdsourcing, but you can pick up copies in the wild. I've seen them. Trust me, I've seen them. I actually saw them in Denver last time I was up there.
Okay. I know for sure 2 of these are in print, for sure. Probably
2 of 5.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's get into this.
Let's try this. Here we go.
We are talking about game immersion first of the G.A.M.E.R criteria. Is the game fun to lose? Player interaction, i.e. table talk role-playing. And this was what Risk was all about, was that player interaction. And those memorable moments, like the turtling in Australia, and sometimes Risk was not fun to lose because, man, it stressed you out sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wanted a game that actually gave you that little bit of stress. Also allowed you to do a little bit of that turtling that in Australia, that is one of the people do on Risk, where like they just build up all their resources in Australia and stuff like that. But you actually could play a turtle in this one. And my first pick is, not surprisingly here, the quintessential hobby version of Risk. This is Twilight Imperium 4th edition. This one allows you different characters that you're playing as. You do feel that with your special powers, you're playing something completely unique to the other players, so that gives you that little player interaction. That role playing is like, okay, I am playing this turtle character. I'm gonna, stay over here in my little corner, leave me alone, let me do my thing. I'm just gonna manipulate this stuff over here. And then some people have played the Mechatol Rex, which are the Lions characters. They're all about the trading and stuff like that. So I think when I played it the first time, Gamehead Geek played them, and he was like, okay, I can make this deal with you, and I can do this, and he felt different. And then you get that asymmetric in that game immersion. You feel like you're getting into your characters. You still are doing dudes on a map, but your dudes are spaceships, and so you're trying to gather resources to build bigger and better spaceships, to build a bigger and better fleet, to conquer more worlds. So you have that aspect of conquering like you would do in Risk. You have one of my favorite mechanisms, the follow action. Somebody's going to take an action, they're going to get something really good on that, and everybody else at the table is going to get something a little bit better or worse than what he gets, but it's still cool. Yeah. I love that follow mechanism. This one is not much shorter than Risk sometimes, but it actually has rounds at least that you can play. I think it's like 8 or 10 rounds or something like that. Yep. But what I really like about the fact that why I put it in the game immersion aspect, you could put it in a lot of these other categories and it would fit fine. The reason why I put in the game immersion is, yes, it is long,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't feel long. You play
Sure.
the game, and then you look up and like, we've been here for 3 hours. It does not feel like 3 hours,
Right.
because I'm like, what are you doing over there? What's going on over there? Oh, you took that action? Okay, then I can do this ability.
Right.
You really feel immersed in the game itself, too. You don't feel the time constraint in this game. We've played it several times within 4 hours at 3 players each time.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of time, but you don't feel like you're taking
No.
that long a time. And that's what I thought was really fun about it, is not just is the game fun to lose? It is. Does it have those memorable moments? It does. Is the player interaction there by the table talk and role playing? Yeah. But you also feel the immersiveness of this game where you are in the game and not paying attention to anything outside. Like, I'll put a baseball game or something in the background on the TV, because sometimes I've learned this when we had AP players. This way I have something to do while I'm waiting for them to finish their turn.
Sure.
I had a baseball game in the background last time you and me played it, because it was like, I think in June or last year or something like that. I didn't pay attention to the baseball game at all. I'm like, oh, the game's over. When that happened?
Because playing Christmas Story all of a sudden.
But we were really enjoying that one. So Twilight Imperium 4 is my game immersion.
All right, so hear me out. This one, no. Game's fun to lose. This game that I picked, this is dudes on a map. There is conflict, and it is dice driven as well. So
it is dice driven in Twilight as well.
Yeah, it is. So this one though, this one's a little bit different. It's kind of interesting how it takes that same focus. This is called Rise of Tribes, and
I haven't played this. I've heard really decent things about this.
It's really cool. And it's really fascinating how it works, because you have a hex grid, and there's different terrain types, and you roll 2 dice on your turn, and you slot them in to 4 different actions, and you take those 2 different actions that you choose, and based on the dice that you slotted into, you're going to gain an action based off of it. If there's moons, then it's actually a lesser action. If there's suns, or 2 or more suns, then you actually get a bonus action for doing it. But you're not really trying to destroy other players. There is times where you will want to do that. Basically, you're trying to complete all of your own personal objectives. And some might say, like win in a conflict with other players. Some might say control certain areas. And it's a race to 15 points. First player to get 15 points wins. And there's all sorts of different ways that you can do it. But I really enjoy the combat mechanism, quote unquote. The way it works is really simple. When you generate your meeples or your warriors, or when you invade into an area and move into it, if there are 6 or more, every player who has meeples there removes 1 at a time until there is a single person left. So that's real simple. If I put in a 3rd one, or if you had 3 and I put in a 4th one, which would put it over 6, then we start moving 1 by 1 by 1, and then I would have the last one winning there. Therefore, I won the area.
Nice.
It's a 1-to-1 troops. It's not deterministic like how dice are. Really cool components, really fun strategy. I've had it in my collection for a long time. It took me a long time to get it to the table, and when I did,
Breaking Games, that's who does it.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. And that's what I was saying. I don't know if Breaking Games is still producing it. It says Amazon for $50, so probably.
Probably.
But I mean, Rise of Tribes is super cool. You get different player abilities, different mechanisms, different special cards, different goals that you're trying to do, and just first 15 points wins. And it's a cool area control game, and it's because it's an action selection. And it's like differentiated objectives that makes it worth it. That's why I like the player interaction. It's not total devastation to them. It is fun to lose because you're trying to complete your stuff just before everybody else does. And those memorable moments, like when you put it in the right position where you can complete multiple objectives, super fun.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Going on to our next part, art and production.
Art and production.
That is me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So art and production. The art. The pieces and components. And the big thing for us, the graphic design. Very important because we're both colorblind. Mm-hmm. And so Risk is really just... Back in the day, it was cubes, right?
Yeah, it was wooden cubes back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. Nowadays, you can get little miniatures.
Props to them. They were one of the first American games that was cube-driven.
Yeah.
It's a cube game.
Yeah. So you had cubes back in the day, or little miniatures now that you can get for the game as well. Some dice, few cards.
A lot of them, too.
And not a lot of artwork on there. No. So the game I picked for this one, is one, and this is the one I said that was crowdfunded. You can find this specific version in this one. This is a Gray Fox game, but it's a dudes on the maps with some fantastic miniatures. You actually enjoyed your play of this game. Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down. Raccoon King Games, I think, is the originator, so they have little standees. Gray Fox went in on a Kickstarter, made minis. I have seen several of these in stores, so you can buy them. But yeah, so Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down, fun little area control. The moon broke and you're all mutated different creatures that have asymmetric powers like Twilight Imperium. What I like about this one is kind of like that card-driven action selection. Is like, I play this card so I can do this ability. But everybody has the same deck of cards. But they're all playing different actions. Like, okay, I can get more creatures or I can do this. And then your creatures are so unique because I played the infestation or the ants or something like that, the insects. I don't have as many miniatures as, say, Dammit Dom does with his characters. Yeah. Your characters only had, like, these mechs that are out there. So it was really neat. The minis looked really good. And I like the fact that the miniatures themselves are different colors. So I'm playing the yellow group, the insects. I can tell which one's mine. And they're all different sculpts. You have your little soldiers, you have your big soldiers, and you sometimes may have giant soldiers depending on who your characters are. I think you were playing, like, the samurai robots during that game, and so your characters were really unique, and you have like this special ability, and like, oh, this guy does not lose battles because he's sneaky and he's stabby. But yeah, fun little area control. Had some really smart action selection card play. The artwork is fantastic in this game. The modular board is really neat. The graphic design is really readable. The fact of the matter is, it gives you a giant sheet how everything works. So, like, you know who you're fighting against, and you're supposed to hand those to the different players. Like, hey, this is what I'm capable of. And everybody will get one from your character. Also, there's a lot of expansions just on that base game. I just backed the most recent Kickstarter from, like, King Raccoon Games, where they're also now throwing the expansion with miniatures. So I'm waiting for that to come in. Or a Marutsu or something like that. But yeah, no, I do enjoy this game. I have practically everything for it, and I'm waiting for the next step of stuff to come in. I know I do have everything for it, including a playmat. So, yeah, but Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down is my Art Productions Dudes on the Map game for Risk.
Cool. My Art Production, so I picked another dice-driven...
Hear me out, is what he's saying.
Hear me out. Another dice-driven combat game. But the reason I picked this is because, and I'm glad you referenced it, it used to be wooden cubes and like trays of wooden cubes, and then they were able to change it to minis. And I like the fact that this is, a combat game that uses pieces as like your armies, but it doesn't have to be a miniature to understand the concept of what you're doing. So this game has miniatures, although you don't need them because it also has some standees, and even then, the base game, you still don't need the standees. This is dice thrown.
I knew this was going to be on your list.
Because, I mean, it's not dudes on a map, right? But it is a very clever dice-driven combat game.
When you said dice combat game, I'm like, he put dice thrown. I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's about the only justification I can make.
I don't disagree. It's a dice-driven combat game. If you like that Risk, there you go.
It's beautiful production. Dice Tone is good. And again, like, you could get, like, the simpler versions. Like, they make, like, a $30 version or whatever.
Yeah.
They're gonna...
I do not like the box that they come in, though.
No, of course not. But you could still buy that and play it, and it still functionally works, right? So...
Well, you can find it in Target and stuff like that. I recommend going to your hobby game store, but if you don't have one anywhere near you, you can find that game at Target.
Exactly. So, there you go. Dice Throne, Art and Production.
Well, you know what else is nice about it, too? Pick your poison. You want Marvel? Here's some Marvel. You want X-Men? Here's some X-Men. If you want generic pieces, here you go. You can buy it in a battle box, or you can buy it in 2 pieces.
Exactly. Kill things with dice in a really immersive, fun way. Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite dice games of all time.
I honestly don't disagree with you. That was a good pick. All right, so meaningful choice is impact on other players, depth of strategy, tactics, or skills, and do arbitrary choices or AP make a negative impact on the game. And so this one that I picked for meaningful choice, it does have a little bit of the AP in there. Not really the arbitrary choices because you have to play efficiently. Is one I know you're not a fan of, but I do enjoy it. It is an area control, sort of. It's like your first game, it's a race to a certain amount of points. This one is a race to 10 points. But there is Dudes on the Map that actually had cubes before the miniatures came out. This is a deck building worker placement game, Dune Imperium, or Uprising if you want to get the new one. You have your resources that you're gathering. You always have to go into combat because that is where you're going to make most of your points if you win combats. You also get rewards for making wins of combats. You'll have bonus cards that will actually help you enhance your combats. So it has a lot of the things that Risk has with a lot of smart choices too when you're doing the deck building aspect of it. Do I use this card to send my worker to that deck build over there, to gather these soldiers to put in there for that war we're going to have to do at the end of this round? Or do I save these cards to gather resources? So, look, hey, look, this one gives me more combat power. So that little push and pull, how you're using your cards and how you're putting your characters out there, how you're going to control the spice lanes is what it is down to, and to get 10 points. So yeah, for me, meaningful choice, Dune Imperium or Dune Imperium Uprising if you can get the expansion or the second game.
You're looking at me like I'm going to criticize you. I'm not going to.
Yeah, because you
this
can't get
list.
away with
I
it.
have no. You got a free pass today, buddy. No, my meaningful choice. This is the one that's absolute legit. The area control, and this is
the one I picked.
no.
Oh, this is not the one I called.
This
Okay,
is not the one you called. So this one, I really actually like this game, even though it is area control. It's a really, really clever game. And one of the things that I think really, the strategy is not how you roll dice or how you do what in Risk. The strategy in Risk is knowing when to have your forces built up and when to make that timing of when to bring in to the other
and
countries.
how much you're going to take.
And how much you're going to take with you. Knowing that that's going to potentially leave you very vulnerable. Or you might get devastated and wipe a lot of those cards.
I think we just had a crossover. Well, I haven't talked about it yet, but I think there is a crossover.
This is a Euro game about also that timing. You're going to choose which area and which card you play to either spawn meeples in there, move them around.
No,
All you're trying to do is surround the El Grande. And that is, that's my pick. El Grande. It's a very clever game.
This is not a crossover. I thought of El Grande, but...
Yeah, this is probably my favorite actual like area control game. Mm-hmm. And when I saw this on my shelf, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a replacement for Risk for me.
The new version is much better looking than the version he has.
Oh yeah, by far. But I mean, it's such a clever game. You know, it's card based. You know, you're bringing the stuff around. It's not combat driven. It's just getting majorities in this area, and there are times where you'll be dumping your
cube tower. You're not going to go wrong in a cube tower,
right? Exactly, and that's just another area for majorities. But then you're watching this El Grande worker move around the board, and you're trying to find when is the best situation to jump in there, because knowing that if you spent all your efforts into doing that, you'll win it, sure, but then you're going to be on nothing for the next round, right?
Yeah.
And so that timing is just super clever. I love how it works. You could spread out real thin and try and get like a lot of secondary points. You can try and hone in on one spot and intimidate everybody out. It has a lot of that same feeling that I feel Risk has. So El Grande, that was my pick for meaningful choice.
Honestly, this was on my short list, but then I'm like, he doesn't really have a lot of area control, so that's probably going to go on his
list. Let me take it. There is one that I think is going to be on your list that I'll be curious to see if it does.
Okay.
That is my prediction. It's one I purposely didn't put on mine. Okay. So, next one is Ease of Play.
Hey, it's you.
Yeah, for once it's me. All right, so Ease of Play talks about the simplicity and familiarity with the mechanisms.
Dudes on the map.
Dudes on a map, yeah. That's a pretty common way. Kill things with dice, right? Depth of, likelihood to get to the table. World domination, right? Whether it's mechanism or theme. And is it easy to learn, understand, or teach? And this one is another area control game, but this is a card-driven game. This is the one you did call. This is Condottiere. And this is very simple. It's over Italy, and you have a bunch of different areas. The first person to get 5 areas total, or 3 adjacent areas will win the game. And it's just played over a series of rounds. One player chooses what area is over dispute, and you're just playing out cards effectively to do it. They're numbered from like 1 to 10, and most of them don't have abilities, but it's more or less like a bidding mechanism as how you're doing it. But a lot of the cards do have abilities. Like some might change all the cards to 1s. Some might change like some of the special abilities to stop working. Some might cause other cards to discard. And there's all this fun give and take of like when you want to push your luck, when you want to go, it's like, all right, I'm going to play this really powerful card. But again, if I go into it now, hoping to get this region, I'm going to be hurting for the next time anybody does. And they're going to know that. And they might try and go for something that's close by them, knowing that I can't defend it anymore because I've already used up all what I can. I think it's an absolutely clever game. I've always been enamored with it ever since I've had it. And I think it's easy to learn. Once you understand the symbols, I have to relearn it every time. But once you remember, like, oh, this does this, this does this, this does this, because the cards don't have a reference on them. If they had a reference sheet, then it would just make everything so much easier. But once you know that, then you're golden. And it's a really simple game, and it's super clever for area control. So, I like it.
I disagree with you on this one part. I don't think it's that easy. Honestly, it took me and Damn It Dom a little bit to understand everything that was going on.
I do think it is more complicated.
And we play more dudes on the map than you do. I think El Grande would have fit this better than the Meaningful Choice. Yeah. I think you should have swapped those two. But other than that, I think it should be on this list. I think it's a good game. It's just I don't think it's that easy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, so going into my ease of play, this is probably the game you thought was on that you took off your short list because it's probably going to be on my list because it is one of the simplest dudes on the map game. Me and my wife used to play the mess out of this when I first got into the hobby. Do you know what it is?
Small World?
Yep.
Yep.
Length of time, or not length of time.
That was the first one that popped in my head. It's like Risk, but it's Small World, right?
Simplicity and the familiar mechanism, dudes on the map, plus generic fantasy. You got orcs, you got dragons, you got trolls, you got like stuff that you are very familiar with. The likelihood to get to the table. Oh, yeah, have you seen that cover? Mm-hmm. It was like, and then you're just think of Risk, but not as much. You have a set amount of creatures that you can put on the board, and all you're doing is trying to accrue as much coins as possible for over a set amount of rounds. It depends on the player count, the set amount of rounds. And then whoever has the most coinage at the end of the game wins. But you're also using your coins to buy certain things. If there's a race that you want to get to, you have to put coins on the ones you're skipping, which whoever takes that race that has those coins gets all those coins and their points for you as well. It is one of the easiest games to teach, understand. It was one of the first games I could teach people no problem, because it's basically, you want that character, put your coins there, and then your character has this and it has that special ability, and then this is what your special ability does and stuff like that. That's the only tricky part, is that the fact that they're asymmetric and they change between games and games.
Yeah,
but they have a nice.
Which I feel is the most complicated part of that game.
And that is not a lot of complication. It's like, you have catapults. This is what you could do with your catapults, and then it has like a nice little short list for you to read what everything does. So it is fantastic. It has like the asymmetric power, the fact that you can make the decision. Okay, this is as far as I can go with this race. I'm going to put them in decline, and if you get a special race, sometimes you can get coins when they're in decline. I loved everything about this game. I think it's fantastic. And guess what? If you don't want generic fantasy and you're a fan of World of Warcraft, they have a version for you there too.
Yep.
So yes, my ease of play was Small World.
And finally, our replay value, which replay value talks about 3 categories: length of time and scaling. Well, there's a number of players per time, minimum number of plays for the full experience, and expandability, whether it's already existing expansions or ones announced. This one was pretty easy for me, although it is a very different game. Because Risk has a lot of different, it doesn't have so many expansions per se. It has maybe a couple, but it has a lot of different variations, right? There's Risk 2210, which I used to play a lot of. It was awesome. That's when Rob Davio really got involved with it. Is when he worked at Hasbro, he found ways you're just getting to a certain number of points, and then that's the game. And you had special abilities, and you can fly to the moon. It's freaking awesome. And then they had all sorts of other versions of Risk. They have sillier versions. They have bizarre licensed versions. But then they also have a mini version. Risk Strike is a good example of that. It's a mini version of it. And then finally, it even has a legacy version, Risk Legacy. So I had to pick the game that had the other version where it has a world map and a legacy version and a mini version and all that stuff. Pandemic. This is my hear me out. The game is very different.
Your whole list is hear me out.
This is the biggest one, though, because this is a very different game. But if you like Risk, and you want something that is that replayable, and you're willing to make the jump into a co-op nature, this is like an anti-area control game. Because each of the viruses are trying to control the different regions, and if they get over or over-controlled. If there's too many cubes on the board, well, then you lose. If you're willing to make that jump from just absolutely murder each other to work together to defend against it, then this is a good logical leap. I'm not saying it's exactly right.
It's not a
I'm just
logical
saying, no, it really is, because it has that same level of replay value. It's a lot quicker and it plays fewer players, but again, the expandability, it has the same style and like permutations of mechanisms. The minimum number of plays out differently, and it, like I said, it really is. If you like Risk but want to play together, you can go to Pandemic and you'd probably have a good chance at enjoying it.
All right, my replay value is a game that is mainly for 2 players, but you can play it at 4. This thing is a massive dudes on a map game where one set is playing as one team is playing as one type of group, and the other team is playing as another type of group. It's all about good and evil in this game. It's Star Wars Rebellion. It does have one expansion to it as well. It is straightforward. A dude is on the map, and if you can work as a team, somebody's going to control the ground units, another person's going to control the space planets.
Sure.
You're all about being the rebel faction and making sure your planet doesn't get destroyed where your rebel base is, while dismantling the Empire slowly but surely through different types of battles by smart card play, as well as dice manipulation or dice rolling and stuff like that, dice combat. You have space battles, you have ground battles. This is a massive, massive game. I mainly like it at 2 players. I have played it at 4 players. And guess what? It's the same amount of length of time that Risk does. Risk can go a long time, depending on how you play it. Again, it has the one expansion where you add more characters in there for the Rebel Alliance as well as the Empire, and new mechanisms and new ships out there. It's really neat for what it does. It's one of the few times I can actually recommend this game on one of these lists. So I was like, I need to get this out here because it is a fun game. It's a long game. 2 to 4 player game of this can last anywhere to 2 to 3 hours, depending on how well you're versed with this game. It is massive too. So, you know how most boards or board games, the boards are like a quad fold where you have like those are the large boards. This has 2 of those that you put together and that's your map. It takes up a whole table. It's freaking massive. But oh my god, it's really good. And I like the fact that the people who are playing the Rebels start off slow. They don't have a lot of resources. They're trying to build that up, and you feel like you're just getting walloped by the Empire, making sure they're going nowhere near your base. Then you have to make that determination of when you got to abandon that base and maybe set it up somewhere else because they're getting a little too close. Oh yeah, I like everything about this game. It is Star Wars in a box. I recommend it at 2, but it plays fine at 4 if you're willing to work as a team. I've played a couple games that play well as a team. This one is one of them. So Star Wars Rebellion was my replay value pick.
Cool. So I had a couple of quick honorable mentions. Risk Strike, I brought that up a lot.
Yeah.
It really is like Risk in 20 minutes. It's so good. It's a simple little card game, but works the same idea with Risk. And it's Risk themed, and it's super cheap too. Also, Twilight Struggle was
on my short list as well. Yeah, but it's a 2-player.
Yeah, it's a 2-player card play. Yeah, and it's more. How do I describe it? It's not really conflict driven. It's more of like a tug of war in each of the areas. So I like that. And then also the one I played most recently, Fire and Stone Siege of Vienna, is also a 2-player head-to-head war game.
Another one that was on really my short list, Caesar. The Rome in 20 minutes or something like that. Seize Rome in 20 minutes, I think is what it's called. That was on my short list. You mentioned El Grande. That was on my short list. You also mentioned the one we just talked about right now. So, yeah, other than that, Blood Rage was on my short list as well as Rising Sun, which, by the way, we didn't talk about it in the news, but, Tabletop Tycoon just got Blood Rage and stuff like that. They're actually going to be starting a crowdfunding for a refresh for Blood Rage.
Cool.
And I think they're also going to do it for Rising Sun. So you want more of that stuff, there you go.
There you
go. Honestly, that's pretty much what I can think of, like the dudes on the map kind of stuff in the aspect of Risk.
Like, I thought about, like, Wrath of Fire Mountain, but it's like, that's such a... It's a Yahtzee game, like, and it's like, yeah... There's area controls, but Risk doesn't have a slidey puzzle, so...
Yeah, the slidey puzzle was really neat. That would have been better than your Pandemic over there. But
I stand by that one actually better than some of the other ones I've picked.
that one, no.
It is what it is. All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's episode. As always, if we have an email, if you want to contact us, you can email us at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. And you can do so whether you want to enter in future contests, give us ideas for episodes, or just reach out to say hello. We also have an Instagram, instagram.com/everydayboardgames. Make sure you follow us there. See all the stuff that we've been doing lately, what games we've been playing as a group, and all the shenanigans we've been up to board game-wise.
Yeah, we're getting into some shenanigans here soon. All video re-uploads and reviews are found on YouTube under youtube.com/@everydayboardgames. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
We also stream our episodes live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Be sure to follow us there so that way you can get notified when we join on live and join in on the conversation, like our friends Illuminous today or anybody else who joined us in our chat.
As well as all audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. This includes Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I'm your host, Daniel.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.